See this guy? This is George Herkowitz. Herky, to those who loved him. God rest his soul. Herky was a Gordon Bleu. He also was a drunk. He used to drink my dad's cooking sherry and pass out in the vegetable cooler. However, George worked in Manhattan in a very high-end Italian restaurant. And he came up with this method for making Italian gravy and fresh tomato sauce late at night when everything was off. And these things were called tomato bags back then, and now I call them tomato squares. And what a tomato square is a frozen method of preserving and saving fresh tomatoes and herbs to make a tomato base that we can move in 10 different directions to make any type of tomato sauce that we like. Now what's really cool about this is it's dead simple. What we're going to do is basically with our food processor, any little Cuisinart, I got an onion, shallot, place in there. I got a couple cloves of garlic. I have some fresh herbs, leaf basil, parsley, some dill, some rosemary. Got a whole handfuls, just throw them right in on top of that. Don't worry about the stems. The stems and parsley are where most of the flavor is. Let's keep some of that in there. A little hit of salt. Got a nice kosher salt in here. Good batch of pepper. And then cut your tomatoes up. Now, the tomatoes you can get now from the farmer's market are inexpensive because it's late in the season or any type of the year, but also you can mix them up. I have yellow, I have beefsteak, I have Roma, I have a couple nice purple tomatoes, and you just start lopping them right in there. Just get them in there to the point where you can fill up your food processor. You could even use these little small cherry tomatoes. Some of them have been sitting around for a while, pretty cheap. And I got a yellow tomato here that I'm actually going to just use to fill this up and give me a full quart. Just cutting it up into chunks, putting it right in.
Gotcha.
Fill it right up. Most important ingredient, you need about a quarter cup of olive oil. Even a little more if you want. Okay, put it in your food processor. Now you got a choice. You want it crunchy. You want it either chunky or smooth. You can pulse it for a little while or just turn it on and leave it on and puree it down. Okay, when we're done, you have it pureed, chunky, any way you like it. Now, what Herky used to do, he used to put it in like bread bags. These things, tie them up and it'd be like this thing. You don't have to do that anymore because of modern technology. The mighty Ziploc, gallon size, okay? All you want to do is, one, you want to label what you got in there. You actually want to write all the herbs and everything in there so you don't remember, because you can save a lot of these. Just take it. Now, there's no way to be neat about it, but it is kind of a style. Pour it in. Try not to freeze your blade. It gets kind of hard to cook. Okay. Once you're in the bag, lay it flat. Lose your air. Look at all the herbs. See all the garlic, see the tomatoes in there. Now, a couple questions people ask. Tomato skins. Old Italians like to peel their tomatoes. Look at, if you're using organic tomatoes, the skins are naturally thin. You can put your fingernail through it. What happens if you go into a deep freeze for a couple weeks with this, with the oil in there? I don't know the chemical name of it, but the skins freeze and they dissolve when they come back and you heat them up. You'll not have a skin in here. If you make it real chunky, yeah, naturally, and if you use a commercial tomato, yeah, you might get a hunk of skin in your mouth. For the most part, you will not taste any skins when you do this. This can stay till the next millennium. You stay it like this, store it in your freezer, put all your tomatoes together, and try different combinations. Just do tomato and basil, do tomato and dill. You want to do classic Italian just like we did, basil, parsley, fresh oregano, more garlic, or just tomato and garlic. Make sure you label it so you know what's in there. Okay. And another square here, it's been out, well, since we've actually been doing this thing, so about an hour. I'm just going to simply get ready and dump it right into the pan. Now remember, I got oil in here. I'm not adding any fat or anything else. Got my heat on, turning it on high. Now, the way that Herky taught me how to cook this was via more or less like a dragster. You cook at one heat, high heat, to get it done quickly. You're going to make a base. From this base, when we are done, in about 10-20 minutes, we're going to show you how to go in 4 different sauce directions like that. You're going to be really amazed. So let's go ahead and heat this up. So here's what we do. Here's the secret. 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. Way back when, we used Hunt's. Use any kind you want. Half a can, that's fine. Now, here's something where science took over for me. Used to use sugar to actually break down the acidity of the tomatoes. I found that one little packet of the yellow stuff, Splenda, not the blue, not the pink, but the yellow stuff, okay, just one right in there, amazingly cuts the acid down and does not add sweetness. If you like a sweeter sauce in time, you go ahead and add another one into that. Putting a cup of water in to get it going. Okay, we're gonna let it cook. We're going to roll it real quick for about 20 minutes at a high heat. You're not going to turn it down. If it gets a little crazy, turn it down a little bit. After 20 minutes, we're going to come back and I'm going to show you how to make one of 4 sauces. Take it any direction you want, how to play with it a little bit on your own. You can come up with your own style. It's going to amaze you. In about 15-20 minutes, okay, we've put our tomato square. We thawed it. We put a cup of water in there. Took it to a good hot boil for about 15-20 minutes. As you can see here, I got a real nice thick paste going on here. This is a good tomato sauce. Okay, that Splenda is amazing. It's not acidic, it's not sweet. It tastes like tomato sauce. The fresh herbs, all the garlic are coming out now. It's a good as it is, but that's not the cool thing. Again, this is what Herky used to do at 2 a.m. when someone would walk in crocked and want fresh Italian gravy on their pasta. So here's where we can go. You have a way now to take this 4 different directions. And you'll come up with your own ways over time once you kind of make a science of this too. So let's say you just want a nice pasta sauce. Just put a big 28-ounce can of tomatoes in there, another half a cup of water, and boil it out for another 10-15 minutes. You got a great pasta sauce. You want a faux marinara sauce, kind of a fake marinara? Any type of good red wine, cheap red wine. Half a cup of it, dump it in there. Don't add any more tomatoes and no more water. Cook it down a little bit. You'll really taste the wine. Again, you want to keep tasting it. You might need a little more water, but that'll make a great marinara. Okay, faux bolognese, fake bolognese. A can of tomatoes, 14-ounce can, small can of tomatoes, pound of hamburger. Better the hamburger. You don't need a lot of fat because you got oil in there, so 90%, 95% fat-free, or however they do beef these days, of hamburger. Dump it right in there. Mix it around. Cook it 10-15 minutes. Trust me, it's to be the best bolognese you've had in a long time. Now, my favorite way to go